It is football week in the city of Savannah. We will have live action coming up this Saturday as your Savannah State Tigers head out to Mobile, Alabama to take on the West Alabama Tigers in the Gulf Coast Challenge. And joining us now, it has been too long since we were talking about game week. The head football coach of the Savannah State Tigers, Shawn Quinn, on with us here on ESPN Radio Savannah. Coach, it's been too long, man, but we have made it. As crazy as it is to say it, we've made it.
Well, we're still got a little ways to go, but we are in game week. Interesting to be getting ready to play a game in St. Patty's, which is my national holiday, is right around the corner. So excited to go to Mobile and play a good football team and kind of see where we're at. We've got a long way to go. If you were at practice today, you would say that yourself. But, it's good to finally get to go against somebody. And it's been, I don't know, 16 months, I guess, since we played a game. So it's been quite a while. And look forward to going out this weekend in Mobile and having some fun and competing and seeing where things go.
And you mentioned it's been so long since y'all have played a game, but really, Coach, we're coming up and I've been on really the 1-year anniversary of when everything really started shutting down, and there were so many question marks. I mean, just going back and listening to some of the conversations we were having this time last year was, what's it going to look like 2 months from now, 3 months from now? Little do we know how long it was actually going to take. And we're still not all the way back yet, but hopefully trending in the right direction. Just talk about it a year later, man, what the past 12 months have been like for you guys, if you've had to sort of reallocate resources, look out for your students as their future was unclear for a very long time. Just what have the last 12 months been like for you guys as a coaching staff?
It's been a challenge. I thought, I was obviously super disappointed. That would be the understatement of the year that we didn't play in the fall, because I thought we had a really, really good football team coming back. We had a lot of guys coming back. And so last year has been challenging. We've lost some good players because of COVID. Some guys have graduated and moved on. It's been a challenge just not having a game. And it's just like football is not one of those sports you can just practice forever and never have a competition, and so that's been a challenge, and I give the team credit. This is our third spring in essence since we played a football game. We had the spring of 20, the fall of 20, which we did another spring, and now we're in our third spring and getting a game. So, getting COVID tested multiple times during the week. I think this is my 57th COVID test coming up today.
Wow.
So I've had quite a few of those. My nose feels like the Holland Tunnel some days, but, it's I give the kids a lot of credit and our coaches, and just a different world. But I think, the hope is, as a Christian, I believe always positive stuff at the end of the tunnel. So I think obviously this fall the plan is to be full blown normal and let's go. And, this spring we'll get to play a game in front of fans this weekend, which will be a lot of fun. And we'll kind of see where things go from there. And so it's been a challenge, and there's been times I didn't think we'd ever have football again, and I was glad this fall they played because they could show you could do it safely and showed it didn't spread corona when it was played. So that's been exciting.
And Coach, what we're going to do here is we'll open up this segment and we'll be talking about just what the preparation has been like, what the recruiting class looked like, and getting those guys in here, but also a lot of returning guys. And then coming up, we'll break down West Alabama as we have an opponent to talk about. And we have a really good football team coming up on Saturday there in the Gulf Coast Challenge. And then the final segment, we have some questions from some fans. We'll bring back the Shawn Quinn mailbag. And Coach, I'll warn you, it is not football specific. So you'll need to be on
okay.
those.
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I'd rather talk non-football some days. I mean, that's all we do all day. So when we can talk travel. We won't talk politics. We'll stay out of that world. But
that's a different deal, yeah.
Yeah, we can talk travel. We can talk food. I'll talk for food all day. Beach, you can do trivia, you name it, we'll do it. So
there you go. But Coach, I did want to get everybody caught up on just the current Savannah State football team, because it has been a while since you guys took the field in official capacity. The last time we really saw you was the spring game a year ago, what we were looking at there. So, man, just take us through this roster. I want to start on the offensive side of the ball, because the last time we spoke, you said it's going to be a wide open competition at quarterback. But who are the key names we need to keep in mind out there for the Tigers?
I think a quarterback, big key with us. We got a three-headed monster. We've got Devon Gibbons, who was a starter. We won the league with the SIAC East with in 19. He's back. Mason Wood, who redshirted, who's a transfer from Georgia, has had a really good camp this spring. And then JT Hartage, who's played some key moments in the season. He's back. And then we've got a couple freshmen Antonio McKnight, and Jalen Wells, which we think are going to be really good players. So we got a good group, and we signed a local guy next year, Jaden Adams, that we're excited about. So one thing we try to do, I've talked about this, Christian, is have a roster where those guys can play multiple positions because you have limited scholarships. So we got 3 guys battling out. We got a veteran offensive line. We lost Mike Johnson, who was a really good player. He went and declared for the senior deal, and he played in the Hula Bowl. So he could have come back, but he graduated, had a great job offer in the NFL deal. So, but our offensive line, we've got 4 of the 5 starters back, and we got a pretty good tight end, Julian Roberts, who played a lot as a freshman. But offensive line, those guys have been rock solid for us all spring. And then receivers, a bunch of young guys, which we kind of remade that room. And we got Dante Devereaux, an upperclassman, and we got a couple of local guys that have done a really nice job. Tony Thomas, Brent Carr from West Lawrence, Day Mitchell, who's from South Carolina. We got some good young talent, and then we got some really good slot receivers. We got Enoch Carter, who was a freshman of the year. I think he's got a chance to be a pretty good player, returner for us. So, and then at tailback, we got a bunch of guys. We've got D'Angelo Durham, and then we got Amin Stevens, who's transferred in here from Lenore Ryan, who's done a really nice job for us, local guy from Jenkins.
Yep.
But D'Angelo's been the guy for us, and then we've got a number of other tailbacks. Jordan Grant, who's a local guy here from Savannah Christian. So, offensively, I think we're ahead a little bit. I think they've done a really great job this spring, the coaching staff. Kudos to them. We've had 2 open positions on offense. We haven't had a receivers coach and offensive line coach. And that staff, man, they've done a great job in those positions. But we won't even have to go in this games 2 open coaching positions. So it's really a credit to those guys, the job they've done despite having some limitations.
I do want to talk about D'Angelo Durham specifically there, Coach, because he was, I think, over 1,000 yards in 2019 when you guys went 7-3 there and was the focal point of the offense. You've been around a lot of really good running backs on a lot of really talented teams. Where does he stack up? Because I think he's pretty special when I watch him play.
Yeah, he's a really good football player. He's a good dude, good student from Grovetown High School in Augusta, which has been a good area. And he's ran the football, man. He is the scouts came in here and did a junior day, and they were just really impressed with him on junior day. And he's got a chance, I think, if he has 2 good years here to do something beyond here, but he's got to get bigger and stronger. But I think, I'm excited. He's had a really good camp, and hopefully he'll run like the wind like he normally does on Saturday. If it's up to me, we'd carry about 50 times. So, and then I don't want to get him extra Gatorade after the game. We're going to rest a little bit. So, but he's done a good job, and we're going to have to lean on him in the offense really hard because, we're, like I said, we're a little bit ahead on offense right now, and we got some guys out on defense right now. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, and got some new guys. But offensively, man, they've done a really nice job all team.
And flip side of the team there, Coach, the defense. I thought in 2019, really the front 7 was a strength for you guys. Defensive line getting after it and some really solid play and kind of just the heartbeat of the team coming from the linebackers and those defensive linemen.
They were. We got a lot of good players. We're fortunate to have some good depth. We got a ton of guys out on defense for this game because of some injuries. So it's going to be a challenge. We play a lot of freshmen and some other guys. But, we got a good leadership over there. Cam Brown is a defensive lineman. We think Damian Rogers is a really good defensive lineman for us. Walter Yates was an all-conference guy. And then he's done a really nice job at linebacker with Chris Smith. And so, like I said, we got some injuries, we got some holes to fill there, but I think when it's all said by the fall, we'll have a really good group. Right now, it's a little bit piecemeal, but we'll get through that over these next 2 months and get everybody back healthy. But so it'll be interesting. We'll play a bunch of freshmen in this game, so it'll be good to see kind of what they do in real life situations.
And, Coach, one of the biggest losses this offseason, Giovanni Lugo, your all-world, everything, kicker, punter, whatever you needed him to be, man. Who's going to step up and replace him?
Well, he's over in Istanbul. He's the stunt double for the Salt Bay guy, the guy who drops the salt. So that Gio's his stunt double. But all kidding aside, Gio did a great job. Kenneth Lockhart is a young guy, a freshman from Bradwell Institute. He's been really, really good. Won the kickoff and the punt job, and is also in competition to be the field goal guy. And then we've got Jorge Gonzalez, who's from Claxton High School. So 2 good local guys, and then we've got 2 local long snappers that have done a nice job for us. So that's been a good group, and they're all freshmen. So my biggest concern is just they haven't been in a game, Christian, getting them in a game. And then but I think once they get in the game, they're super talented. So I think long-term we're going to have a really good group. It's just, this first game, all right, what are they going to do under the lights and, with a crowd there and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they kick. They've kicked really good in camp, and it's different when you go live in a game. So
for sure,
it'd be fun to see what they do.
A quick look there at the roster that we can expect to see against West Alabama. Going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll get a look at West Alabama, what we should expect to see coming up when the Tigers take on the Tigers on Saturday in Mobile. This is the Shawn Quinn Show right here on ESPN Radio Savannah. Welcome back into the Shawn Quinn Show right here on ESPN Radio Savannah. Christian Gokel, glad to have you alongside as we were talking Savannah State football, and it is game week as the Tigers prepare to head out to Mobile to take on the West Alabama Tigers. And, Coach, I know for a head coach, you're obviously worried about the game plan. You've said it. You've been waking up in cold sweats thinking about what the calls you're going to make on third down. But outside of that, just logistically hitting the road for the first time in over a year to take the football team out to Mobile, I know for you, that's just another stressor added there. And it's not just the football team getting out there and making sure you have the right guys on kickoff. It's making sure the coaches have all the bags packed and have all the helmets and shoulder pads and mouthpieces, and you have all the nutrition and water bottles and all of that as you hit the road.
Definitely. There's been a few sleepless nights. So it's like the Rolling Stones. It's like going on tour with the Stones for a show. You know, it's 4 buses, 125 people, and going everywhere. And, you know, I haven't traveled in the COVID world, so this will be our first experience. And we'll practice Friday morning and then bus down to Mobile. We'll stop in Tallahassee, eat, and then be over in Mobile. So it'll be interesting to see because we haven't traveled, like I said, 16 months. So, and a little different world we're in. But, yeah, you're sitting there going, all right, we have all the oranges for the halftime deal. Do we have the helmets? So there's always a million things equipment people got to do too. So it's a whole moving part here, not just playing a football game.
Absolutely, Coach. And headed to take on West Alabama, a really good football team, 6-5 in 2019 were the Tigers. And Brett Gilliland, a really good football coach, and you know he's going to have his guys ready to roll. But a little bit of contrasting styles there for you guys on offense. You guys obviously with the option like to pound the football, they're going to spread it out a little bit and sling the ball all over the place. That's got to be exciting for you as a defensive guy getting to match wits with him.
Oh, yeah. You know, Brett and I coached together at Georgia Southern. We're on team staff, won a Southern Conference championship. He's a good football coach. I mean, obviously that's a really good league they're in. They're probably top 2 or 3 teams in that league. From a talent standpoint, no offense to our guys, they're going to be by far talent. They'll be a lot more talented than we are, bigger, faster, stronger, all that stuff. And we did that as much to gauge where we're at and where we need to get to. But they have a good football team. They had a really nice win on Saturday, so they've got one under the belt. They won 27-17 against Limestone, the Sac 8 school. So they got a good football team, totally different styles. We're a hard rock, and they're smooth jazz or something like that. So different styles. Brett and I are good buddies, so we've had a little bit of banter back and forth. And some of their coaches I worked with, so they do a great job there. And obviously we model after people that are winners, and they've been to playoffs and won their conference. So they got a good thing going there.
I was going to ask you, Coach, how big of it is the fact that they've already got a game under their belt there? When you mentioned they took on Limestone, won the game, but just really in the first half, you get a chance to work out the kinks when you haven't played football in a long time. That's something you guys are going to be doing in the first half against them.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't lost on me. We originally had a scrimmage scheduled that weekend to kind of do that against our team. We scrimmaged, and, you know, for them, that's obviously they've had one under their belt, so it is what it is. I don't know good, bad, and different. I'm hoping we'll be fresh and heavy, ready to go. And but for them, they probably have a little bit more idea what their football team is about, and obviously we do too, getting a chance to see, because it is different. I mean, no team is going to be the same 2 years later. For us, it's a weird deal, Christian. I talk to coaches in our level because people haven't played in 2 years. So it's not like, hey, you played last fall. Okay, now you know what you did this spring. It's 2 years ago. And so their roster is significantly different, just like ours is.
Exactly. And, Coach, what is it you're looking to see out of your team there in those first couple of drives where, okay, they're here, they're ready to roll for all 4 quarters of this game?
A big thing for me is just seeing us compete and our guys play hard and know what to do. Do they play with great effort and they know what to do and, go play physical? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for. I mean, obviously this is a different kind of spring than a normal spring, but it's different than the fall. And the end game for me is for our guys to be ready to go this fall. And obviously want to go play all these games, win all these games, but you want to see, more importantly, guys compete. And I'm interested to just see, Christian, all the young players we have, how they do, because I've never got to see them in a game. And so that's what's exciting about that part.
Now, again, West Alabama coming up this Saturday. I want to take a break here. I want plenty of time to dive into the mailbag because it's been a while since we've had a chance for Coach to answer some fan questions, and we have a few of them here for Coach to answer coming up. And I know you want to give them your full attention, Coach, and want to be able to, just lay it out there and explain all your answers. So we'll take a quick break here, come back, final segment of the Shawn Quinn Show, and dive in to your questions on the mailbag. See, even I'm rusty, Coach, right here on ESPN Radio Savannah. Welcome back. Final segment here on the Shawn Quinn Show on ESPN Radio Savannah. Christian Gokel, glad to have you alongside. We're, of course, joined by the head football coach of the Savannah State Tigers, Shawn Quinn. And, Coach, it's been a while, but I know this is your favorite thing to do, diving in to the mailbag here. And I just think it's pretty apropos. Our first question comes from Shawn, and I know he has to listen to 3 and Out or Second Down because he wants to know if you're still on the all-veggie diet.
Well, vegan thug life is on suspension right now. It's called stress time with the I've had a few cheeseburgers. I'm about 5 days a week of vegan life, but I still occasionally have some meat. I had some fish yesterday, so it's not. I'm not. They took my badge back. I'm not a full card carrying vegan right now, so I'm working on the plant-based deal. But it's definitely where I'm trending. So. Before I answer any of these questions, really, one of my number one jobs here is help you, man. It's help to improve your dating profile. We got to get you a date. We got to get you out of the house, playing video games, staying at home, doing push-up, sit-ups. We got to get you out socially, man. So, but to answer your question, I'm halfway in, halfway out. I'm a toe dipper right now. I'm not fully immersed in the vegan life right now like I was.
Listen, I've made 1 or 2 appearances over at Congress Street. I like what they got going on over there, Social Club. Because you're outside, there's a lot of room. I like the benches under the oak tree out there. So I've made a couple of appearances outside of the house, Coach.
Have confidence, have a plan.
It's fair,
and be easy to talk to. Those are 3 things I can give you there, man. And then the rest you just got to be natural with. So
I need Coach Shawn Quinn wingman with me though. That's really what it is.
Dating tips 101.
Right, but it's just like when you're playing safety, you don't want to be the guy back there all by himself. You like to have, I like to cut more of a cover 2 where you have a guy back there with you that's watching your blind side for you, making sure you don't get beat deep. That's what I need out there, Coach.
I'm spoken for, so I'm going to stay out of that world. So I'm going to leave that.
Well, you don't have to pick anybody up, but you can be there to get my back.
Well, I can be mediator if nothing else. What he's trying to say here.
There you go.
Introduce himself. This is Christian. Hey, how are you? So we can work on that part.
I want to know who your inside sources are because this is hitting a little too close to home for me right here. But we do have a football question from Daniel here, Coach. He wants to know which. Sorry, I lost my email. There we go. Which position group do you feel like is the strongest on the Tigers right now?
I'd say our offensive line. They've got the most returning guys and really have done a nice job. And they've done a good job. I'm just really impressed with the room they've improved and what they've done. And I kind of could go. Answer B would be our quarterbacks because we've got 3 of them, which is really hard to carry 3 of them because usually one will say, hey, I'm going to transfer, and they've been great, and they've competed, and I'm really excited to see what those 3 guys will do in this game.
And we have another one here, Coach. Michael wants to know which new talents or hobbies did you pick up during quarantine?
Well, the ability to Zoom to everything, everyone, everywhere in the world. It was like, where's Waldo? Just go to Zoom.
How much easier did that make your job, though, in all honesty?
It changes the game in the sense of like for interviewing guys for positions, you can just Zoom them now. I mean, there's some things that will stick with this. Hopefully, I'm an in-person, see you in person, look you in the eye type deal. But I do think there's some things that from it have come out of it. Obviously, hopefully people have realized how important their families are and they slow down and hustle and bustle a little bit. But for me, big thing is I became a beach walker. I love to walk the beach now and get my feng shui, my zen, whatever the word is you want to use, my mojo right, because I live out on Tybee. So, that's probably something I picked up. I spent a whole lot more time there and just try to spend more time with my family than I ever have before.
And Coach Natrej, he knows I'm a big rankings guy, obviously. He wants to know what your top 3 shows you watched during the lockdown were.
Oh, definitely. Tiger King was number one for
Oh
sure.
man, this is bringing back some memories right there when you were making.
Oh cow, that was a train wreck every episode, but it was one of those ones you couldn't go away from. The number two was Sinners. That was a good one. Like that. Halfway through, like I don't watch TV much or anything during football weeks, but like on an open week or riding on the bus back after a game, you got done grading the film, I'll just do something to keep my mind occupied. Sinners was really good, and then I'm a big Narcos fan, so any of the Narcos, I'll rewatch the heck out of those. But I'm looking for season 3 Mexico to come out here hopefully soon.
There you go. And Coach, I got some questions for you because we are in the midst of our greatest college running backs of all time bracket. I mean, it's March, so we have to do a bracket. I know you've been around some really great running backs in your career, but I wanted just to get your opinion on a couple of these polls here. Some ones that were really close. And the first one I want to put out there, because I know this one will be near and dear to your heart. We had a 2-seed Walter Payton going up against a 7-seed Gale Sayers.
You know, I didn't ever see Gale play. Walter Payton, sweetness, he was awesome. So I got to rank him 1. And then, you know, just for longevity and everything, and then probably Barry Sanders too. But I got to go Walter on that one. Gale's career wasn't as long or as illustrious. Although Gale was a heck of a player, probably one of the best returners you'll ever see in film. Yeah,
we're just sticking to college here, but I want to ask you this, Coach, because we have Adrian Peterson from Georgia Southern as one of our 1 seeds, along with Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson, and Barry Sanders. And we've gotten a lot of questions, and I don't take offense to it because not necessarily everybody watches the FCS level of football, and that's where Adrian was playing. But for people who question why Adrian Peterson would be a 1 seed, what would Shawn Quinn say to them?
National championships, watch the championship games, watch him run through people. I think Youngstown, I think he ran through 22 people in one play. So, I mean, in college, he was a man. I don't know if I've seen somebody run quite like him and take over games like he could. So you go win all those national championships and you do it in the way you do in big games, that's hard to match.
And you can find all of those polls on ESPN Coastal's Twitter. But Coach Shawn Quinn getting ready Saturday as they head out to Mobile to take on West Alabama. Coach, I know you got to be excited, man. It's game week. You're headed out there. You said you kind of had a knot in your stomach because it's just one of those things where it's been so long. But when you woke up on Monday, you knew it was game week.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of been coming. It's kind of like, the trip you're getting ready to pack for it. So, excited. We talking about here is making me nervous, so I could go in here and watch some more film. But I'm excited to see us compete, and I hope our fans will show up and enjoy Mobile. It's an awesome city. They throw a great event. It's at a great venue. There'll be a ton of folks there at the game, so it'll be a lot of fun. And excited to go see us compete and play a good football team.
And again, we'll be back here next Tuesday on the Shawn Quinn Show, recapping the Gulf Coast Challenge and looking forward to the next month or so of Savannah State football, and then getting ready for the 2021 season in the fall. But right now, completely focused on the spring. We'll be back next Tuesday. If you miss any portion of this, you can find it on YouTube on ESPN Coastal. Also be able to find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, ESPNCoastal.com. Wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you get your content, we have it up for you. All of your Savannah State football news right there on ESPNCoastal.com. Coach Quinn, we really appreciate it, man. Good luck on Saturday. We look forward to talking to you.
All right, brother. Go Tigers. Send those questions and look forward to answering some fun ones next week. Let's go get a win and have a great weekend. Appreciate all the fans there. Go Tigers.
There you go. We'll be back next Tuesday right here on the Shawn Quinn Show on ESPN Radio.